Donald Ewan Cameron was born in Scotland in 1901 and obtained a degree in psychological medicine in 1925. He fell under the influence of famed psychiatrist Adolf Meyer, and in 1926 Cameron left Scotland for Johns Hopkins in the States, where Meyer was then running the Phipps Clinic. After 2 years, Cameron then went to Switzerland and to the Bergholtze Clinic, and from there went on to Manitoba, Canada. Their peripatetic Cameron then found himself in Worcester, Massachusetts in 1936, at which time he published Objective and Experimental Psychology, promoting a thoroughly scientific, which is to say, behaviorist and clinical model of what psychiatry should be, and in Albany, New York from 1939 to 1943, where he was professor of neurology and psychiatry at the Albany Medical College. In 1943, he moved to McGill University in Montreal, where he created the Allen Memorial Institute on Mont Royal with a $40,000 grant from the Rockefeller Foundation, a post he held until 1964 when he effectively retired from professional life. Ewan Cameron, a central figure in mind control conspiracies. That's from Sinister Forces, A Grimoire of American Political Witchcraft, Book 1, The Nine by Peter Levenda. Hello and welcome to another edition of The Stench of Truth. First, I'd like to say Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to all of my viewers. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank all of you for your continued viewing and for your continued support. And I'd like to say that for all of you who are active out there, that this is the time of year where you should take some time to enjoy your family and friends and some time off, because as we've all been very busy doing the things that we're doing, it's important to take some time to appreciate you know, what we do have in our life, instead of bemoaning all of the horrors that are waiting for us out there. That said, however, I would like to remind you that there is a lot of work to be done, and I want to point out some things to people who may be feeling as though we are still sliding unchecked down that slippery slope into fascism in this country. And while that is still an ever-present danger and something that we have to remain focused on, there is still a lot that we can do. And while the Senate has passed a version of health care reform and the House had previously done so, let me remind you that this is not a done deal, that we can still effect change. If we remain focused and adamant in what we desire, we can still force changes into the final bill that is brought forward. Because remember, anything before it goes to the president has to be reconciled between the two houses of our Congress. Okay, so this is not a finished issue. It's not done. That means we should not rest. We should not be done. And we should tell these complete morons who think they know what's better for us that they don't know what's better for us. That what we decide is better for us is what's better for us. And do not, under any circumstances, fall for the right-left paradigm that they try to force on you. Now, I see over the last week or two that there was a Democrat House member who has switched parties to the Republican, trying to perpetuate that same left-right paradigm, that same Republican-Democrat bull. Do not fall for this. 2010 is a time that we have at our command. We can use this, and I need not remind you that you have power in and of yourself, and all of us together have a tremendous amount of influence if we will just direct it and use it. And for all of you people who feel, rightly so in some cases, that no matter what we do not get the kind of results that we want, that is, that the people that we elect do not listen to us, then there is another course to take. And that is that and I've explained this many, many times, as more and more people become involved and become politically active and realize that these people in D.C. and in your state legislatures who don't give a damn about what their constituents want and instead continue to grovel and kowtow to corporations and big business and the financial industry in this country, they will pay a price. But we have to remain vigilant, and we have to keep doing everything that we've been doing to tell these people that we will not stand for them shoving these bills and laws down our throat. And that remains just as true with health care reform, even though both houses have passed a version of this measure. We can still effect change, and we can still stop the worst egregious parts of the health care reform package if we focus our attention and do something. Now, if in fact this passes and there is some, horrid form of this legislation which comes to the president and he passes it, then of course we have a completely different fight on our hands. But it's never over. And we should never rest completely thinking that we've been deceived, duped, or that we have no options. Because that is exactly the kind of mentality that the people in power want you to believe. That you have no power, you have no voice, and there's nothing you can do because they'll ram through their agenda no matter what it is that you feel, think, or desire. Do not let them win. And in 2010, for God's sake, if you have a Democrat who is a total lackey to the financial interests in this country and you want to vote him out of office, do not vote for the Republican asshole. Because no matter what he says, remember, the agenda is just the same. It may take a different route, but you can rest assured that he's going to screw you as soon as he gets into office. Let's please look for candidates who are progressive and who hold our views. Even if you think of it as throwing your vote away. Throw it away! And if you have a Republican dipshit in Congress that you want to get rid of, don't vote for the Democratic dick! Because he's going to do the same thing. Let's be focused on finding real progressive candidates who are going to do something to help people in this country and tell the financial interests that they can go stick it. So there's work to be done, and there is work that can be achieved. Do not feel powerless. Absolutely not, because you have power. And all of us together do have power. And if they don't listen to us, then we can use that power to effect change in other ways. The more people who realize that Congress does not speak and act for them, the more people we have on our side. So continue to agitate and continue to do everything that you've been doing to be active on all fronts. If you want to take a particular issue, whether it's healthcare, whether it's climate change, whether it's any of the various things that are coming down the pike, then focus on it. And pour your energy into it. But right now, take a minute to enjoy yourself, enjoy your family and friends, and enjoy the holidays. And once again, thank you all for listening and watching and for your continued support. Thank you. Good night.